Can you beat Dark Souls 1 with every upgrade path in the game? As we know, Dark Souls 1 has basically 11 upgrade paths. Crystal, Raw, Lightning, Magic, Enchanted, Divine, Fire, Occult, Chaos, and Unique, or boss weapons. Well, if you don't count Standard. Today I challenged myself to beat Dark Souls 1 while going through all upgrade paths except Standard on the same weapon, and killing at least one boss with each. The only exception I'm making is for the boss weapon, since I wanted to finish on that one, but you cannot revert the crystal infusion. I chose to use the pike, so we base our character's name on that, and then pick Bandit as our starting class, and the Master Key as our gift. We kill the Asylum Demon, and now we can start the run proper. From here we can't deal any damage with anything other than the pike or our burr fists. We pick up some goodies and level up. Open the shortcut. Smell some dragon toes. Pick up the Grasscrest shield and kill the Black Knight for a blue Titanite chunk. We then head to Undra to finally get our weapon for the run, upgrading it to +2 immediately. After farming a bit and buying Titanite shards, we upgrade our trusty pike to +3 for the time being. And now we open the shortcut to Firelink, which I absolutely wanted to write down. We follow the regular path, light the bonfire, abuse the game mechanics, parry a Black Knight to death for a Titanite chunk, and kill a lizard for a large Titanite. 2 rather. We bully the Havel Knight for a bit before getting flattened for our greed. But on our next time, we actually do get him with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that's good. He goes down and we get our first ring. We go to the Taurus Demon. Spear the Hollows. Plunge him for less damage than I expected, but kill him nonetheless. After opening the shortcut, we do our only farming session of the entire run, to be able to buy the Crest of Artorias early. Trust me, this took longer than expected. After thinking that we were about to be cooked alive, we open the gate and head to Andre. We buy the crest and upgrade to +5. Okay, time for the garden. We open the door, get our light sponge out, and narrowly avoid the second hit. Collect the enchanted ember for later, the poise ring, and some nice fashion before attempting the butterfly. Our damage isn't great here, so it takes a while. Honestly, the butterfly really doesn't pose that much threat, but it was taking a while, so for the third cycle I did end up using some gold pine resin just to speed things up. This is the only boss that we'll be taking on under the standard upgrade. It was here that I realized that heavy attacks really don't give us that much compared to light attacks. From here we get the Divine Ember for later and level up a bit. We give the Ember to Andre before going to Blighttown for a few goodies, including Power Within. We make it back up to get our pike upgraded to +5 magic and leave the enchanted ember, again, for later. At this point I realized my mistake of picking up both Firekeeper souls, the one in the parish and the one in Blighttown, which prompted Lautrec to kill the Firekeeper. Oh well, I guess there's no fapping for me. After pondering for a while, we abuse the game mechanics one more time and prepare to face the gargoyles. Our damage is frankly great for this point, so we take them out fairly easily. One hit is enough to cut the tail, and we make sure to kite it back to the entrance for a maximum time before the second one joins in and spoils the fun. I'm really not mad enough to get both of them at the same time. After ringing the first bell, we'll level up, get the basement key, another chunk, open the shortcut, and abuse the game again. Strike, but we get him on the second one. Now it's time for Capra. Again, our damage here is great, so not even the dogs are a problem this time around. Copper has very long windows of opportunity to attack, especially with our fast attacks. So it's pretty easy, and we claim the key to the depths. We open the depths. The shortcut back to Firelink. Pick up the large ember. Free Laurentius.
You must. Oh, well, I see you, mate. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think.
And claim our Pyromancy Flame.
Yeah, one. Right, let's get started.
Another level up. And we attune Power Within. Now it's time for the Enchanted Pike. We head back to Blighttown and face Quelaag for its debut. Our damage is a bit lacking here, and our carelessness kills us the first time. Eventually, we do relearn her patterns, and we end up taking her pretty easily, I guess. However, the fight is pretty drawn out. We ring the second bell and accidentally say no to this freak. But we eventually convince him to move. We level up a bit. Say hi to the waifu. And upgrade our Estus Flask. And offer her a stray humanity we had. After a bit more leveling up, we head up to Ceaseless. Believe it or not, this is the very first time that I have ever been able to actually cheese him. I got some advice last time, and even though I didn't fully follow it, it still seemed to do the trick. We get the Chaos Ember for later. And head towards the catacombs to speak with Vamos. A drop down gives us another green Titanite. We mourn the lack of a bonfire to teleport to down here. and give the Chaos Ember to Vamos. Finally, we get to upgrade to Fire +1 and take the time to repair our equipment. We need some goodies from Sense, including some large Titanite, the Gold Serpent Ring, very importantly, the Lightning Spear for later, hello, ow, no biting the neck, not here at least. And that's 2 more large Titanite. We light the bonfire. Get another 2 large Titanite. And another one. And buy as many as we can. We get the cage key and open the shortcut. Kill the giant atop the tower to get its chunk. And head back to the gate to kill the other giant for his chunk as well. With the Gold Serpent Ring in hand, and some humanity, we get back down to Blighttown and do a little bit more farming for green Titanite and large Titanite, until we get 20 of each. 20 total, not 20 in this particular farming session. We go back to the waifu to offer her the 10 humanities we use for farming. We're now at 11 at this point. And since we're playing in the Prepare to Die edition, we need to offer them one by one. We operate our Fire Pike to +5. And finally, face off against the Iron Golem. Damage isn't great, but the fight is easy anyway. We get picked up like a toddler once. But after that, it's just a matter of poking at the angles repeatedly. I don't know why I wrote pointing in the script. Anyway, we poke at the angles repeatedly. Ankles, what's happening with me today? And eventually we claim our victory. However, before going to Anor Londo, we have a few things to do. We level up a bit. Right now we're starting to put points into dexterity. We go back to the asylum and parry these 2 idiots to get some red chunks. Although Dum Dum here managed to fail a couple of parries with this second idiot.
We make sure not to forget the doll. And with that, we head back to Vamos. We upgrade to Chaos +1. And finally, we're ready to go to Anor Londo. After picking up some Demon Titanite, without any trouble, I promise, we cross the rafters. Turn down the tower and head into the Painted World. We basically speedrun this thing by opening all of the shortcuts that we can. Grabbing the Annex key and the Dark Ember. Finally, it's time to face Priscilla. I'm sorry, my precious one, but all bosses is all bosses. Power Within does help a bit here, but the damage is pretty good anyway, even though we're not using humanity, so I think it's fine. I honestly had no reason at all to cut the tail, but I wanted to practice it for a future run. Wink wink. Back in Anor Londo, we get past the archers. Get Havel's armor. Some Demon Titanite from a chest. Open the shortcut. And pay a little visit to this bastard. We first worked on isolating the caster to thin the numbers up a bit. Then we focused on the pike guy to finally leave Lautrec alone. This idiot has a lot more poise than I expected, but after a bit, we give him his deserved death, and finally claim the Fap Ring. I had to give ONS a couple of tries to get the timing down, since I need Smo to die first. The damage is pretty good, so I really can't complain. Sonic here keeps being an annoyance, and I suck at separating him, since I almost always kill him first. But eventually, we do, and move on to phase 2. There's not much to say about phase 2, other than the weird opening and that I did end up using some humanity to finish the fight, but that's because I suck at this game. Eventually we get him and claim the soul of Ornstein. I suppose I also got a good rank for this run, but I didn't end up using it anyway. After a quick chat with this lady here, we get some new fashion, and we get to reviving the Firekeeper.
Thank you. I am Anastasia. Now
Give the Dark Ember to Andre. And collect another Demon Titanite now that we are here. We buy some new gauntlets. And some other stuff. With those we head back to the asylum. And make sure to get another Demon Titanite from Snuggly. And very importantly, one white chunk. Chunky here isn't hard. He just has a fair bit of health. I did have 3 soft humanities helping out, but given that it caps at like 10 or 20 for the damage bonus, I'm not really sure. I don't know how much it helped. Eventually, he does go down. We continue to level up Dex. We revert our pike and make it divine. All this in preparation for Nito. Once again, we plus 5 it. And we make a bit of a detour to unlock the shortcut. One humanity at a time. We unlock the bonfire by poking a worm. And at this point I realized that I never placed the Lord Vassal. Chunky number 2 isn't a problem either, and we send the elevator up. We make sure to unlock the shortcut. And we need to get a nice lantern from here. After skipping the catacombs for the 3rd time, we drop into the arena. Pinwheel is, well, Pinwheel, I suppose. I don't know what else to say. He falls quickly. And for this one, let's see what mask we get. And it's Mask of the Father. That's actually pretty useful. After taking a wrong turn in the tomb, we get speared, but eventually find the bonfire. I truly hate this area. We just run past everything and make it to Nito. The Tonys here aren't a problem with our divine weapon and all. The damage ain't amazing though, so it does take a while to get him down. Also, he does show his age with this slow ass walk he does. And I hate that the pokes can literally go through his legs, like in between them. Next round's gotta have some side slashing attacks or something. Just look at that. Like 4 consecutive attacks and all go through his legs. With Nito down, we make our weapon Occult and prepare to take down the goodest boy. Power Within and what's basically a plus 11 weapon makes sure of this puppy. We bully the witch. And head down to the most boring fight there is. We beeline it to the right side, getting our shield up for the slap. Land the jump on the other side. Totally not fall jumping to the center. And make some grilled bug on a stick. I'm sure they ate bugs somewhere, on a stick specifically. Not sure where, but I'm sure they do. That's all for Occult. Now we can make our pike raw, and again plus 5 hit, with all the large titanite we collected before. Quick level up. And then we cleared the ghost house, while slightly panicking a bit. I really need a horizontal slashing weapon for sure. We also get the key to the seal, and unseal the seal part with the seal key. After quickly dropping down to skip all the ruins, we get our gear ready to tank, that is, full Havels, obviously. Quick fat roll to check, and drop down the abyss. I was honestly concerned for our DPS at this point, but it seems like we had plenty, especially with power within. Thanks to our fast attack speed, this battle is no problem at all. With Raw done, we upgrade Standard to +10, with our remaining large Titanite. Now it's time to go to Lightning Infusion. For that we go to the Giant Blacksmith. We take our mandatory death, making sure power within got us close, so there isn't even a slight chance of getting curse here. Although I do have a Purging Stone in case you need it, but I really don't want to be using it. We get a key here. Shut down the music. Get another key. Open the shortcut. Get yet another key. And don't forget the Crystal Ember. Now it's time for Seath. As a dragon, Seath is weak to lightning, so that should help us pretty good in here. We let him hit the crystal by himself. And from there on, we just play keep away, and eventually, Seath goes down. First try. That's the last Lord Soul down. From there, we take on the Hydra. Free Dusk. Get the pendant we forgot earlier. And gain access to the DLC. The Guardian is pretty resistant to lightning, it seems, but he ain't that much of a threat with this much reach and attack speed. It can poison us, which is annoying, but not really a threat. The fight takes a while since now it is the one playing keep away with us instead of the other way around. But eventually it does go down. Eventually. I mean, that playing keep away is pretty annoying. I kinda understand Seath now. Artorias is also quite resistant to lightning, so this fight also takes a while, as we only deal 45 damage per hit. With only 5 Estus, we do die on the first attempt. However, we do manage to get him roughly to half HP. Yep, that was definitely due to greed, I'm not gonna lie. We get more Estus, and with all the learning we did on the previous fight, we slowly but surely start getting him down. Truly a death by 1,000 cuts, if I've ever seen one. Well, 1,000 pokes, I suppose, this time. At this point in the run, I already had plenty of humanity, so upgrading bonfires is not a bad option. With that, we'll level up some more. Get the silver pendant, the crest key, and free best doggo. Finally, we unlock the shortcut. We give the crystal ember back to the blacksmith. And we make our pike crystal. Of course, with the tremendous girth of Manus, we end up choking. Twice, actually. Thankfully, by the third time, we've got this fight all figured out. So with the help of power within and the power of friendship on our side, we breeze through it. Well, I suppose breeze is not the correct way to describe it, actually. Honestly, this fight took less time than I expected, and I still failed to capitalize on some of the magic attacks in which I could definitely get some damage in. Especially this round thing of orbs coming in. Yeah, I cannot really do much with that one. Remember the lightning spear we got? Well, since we can't revert the crystal infusion, we use that one to get the Dragon Slayer spear. We take the time to farm for the last Demon Titanite that we need. Trade with Snuggly. Get a couple more free Titanite, basically. And with that, we're ready to clean up the remaining bosses. First on the hit list is Kalameet. We can't start the fight without experiencing the best cutscene in the entire game though. Well, well, well. Look what time is it. It's time to bully a brand new cripple. The damage is fine, I suppose, especially with power within. It's not great, but it's fine. We do need to relearn the fight, however, as we do die on our first attempt. Especially due to not dodging properly. For the second time, we decide to take it slow. We get stretched a bit. Ugh! No, no. That's good. That's fine. I needed that. Again, it's just taking it slow, poking it whenever we can. Waiting for an opening, which with this attack speed, it's basically everything. We end up nearly choking at the end also. But finally, the Black Lizard goes down. Next is Centipede. A couple of jumps get us into a pretty spacious platform where we can take him down. Honestly, with the damage we're doing now, the Centipede Demon goes faster than a fat kid on a seesaw. After making sure that Guinevere isn't cold with that little clothing, we rush down to the ladyboy and proceed to poke him with our stick a bit. He goes down in 3 cycles, which is surprising as I thought it might only take 2, but it is what it is. Only Gwyn remains, and this is a good time to tell you that I suck at parrying him. So this took some practicing, but eventually I do manage to get him down. With that done, we choose to link the flame this time around. So, can you beat Dark Souls 1 with only one weapon going through all the possible upgrades? Yes you can. Just make sure to leave Crystal for the end if you truly want to do it with just one weapon. Technically I didn't do it with just one weapon, but I mean, it's more epic if we finish with a boss weapon rather than a crystal weapon, I guess. If you have any suggestions, feedback, or comments, just leave them down below. I have a couple of ideas for future runs, but if there is something that you'd like to try, or that you'd like me to try, rather, also leave it down. With that, we close this run. And it took us a pretty respectable 9.5 hours. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.